If he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know.
Spectacular. You know, I told everybody Terence Crawford's pound for pound #1. Most journalists and writers in the sport have ranked Terence Crawford.
Difficult. He needs to handle and maintain the speed and improve his power. That's what I did. Like, maintain your speed and improve your power.
Roy Jones Jr. has confidently stated that Crawford would dominate Floyd Mayweather if they ever faced off. In his view, Terence "Bud" Crawford possesses all the tools needed to dismantle Mayweather: keen instincts, raw power, and an adaptability in the ring that could push Floyd out of his comfort zone. Roy suggests that Mayweather's undefeated record was, in part, shaped by avoiding opponents who could truly challenge him, and Crawford, he believes, is exactly that kind of fighter.
You're leaning towards Crawford, is that correct?
I'm not saying I'm leaning toward him. I love both guys. Both guys are great fighters. Well, I can't say I'm leaning. I am leaning toward Crawford. I am. And not because Canelo is not a great fighter, but because I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows about Canelo. You feel me? So I don't know if Canelo is hungry. I know Bud is hungry. Bud stays hungry. I don't know if Canelo's hungry. Bud has never got the recognition for what he deserves like Canelo has. You understand me? So Bud is still hungry for that recognition. When you're hungry like that, a determined man, it's very hard to detour.
Roy Jones Jr. believes Crawford possesses skills that most fighters can only dream of. First, he praises Crawford's ring intelligence, his ability to read opponents, adjust strategies mid-fight, set traps, and shift tactics on the fly. Second, he notes Crawford's versatility in stance, seamlessly switching between orthodox and southpaw to create confusion and exploit openings. Third is his mastery of punch setup and timing, knowing exactly when to strike, using feints, jabs, and varying attacks between head and body for maximum impact. Fourth, his footwork and movement stand out, lateral shifts, angles, and positioning that allow him to avoid damage while staying ready to counter. Finally, there's his power with precision, not just raw knockout strength, but calculated, accurate punches that land exactly when they matter most.
I'd rank him probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10, because he definitely has the skill of a top 5, just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get. And that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue, because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donaire. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost nobody. Don't tell me he better than Bud, no.
Jones sees Crawford at the very peak of his powers, undefeated, experienced, versatile, and still hungry for more. It's a rare combination. He emphasizes that Crawford has proven he can adapt, carry power, compete across multiple weight classes, and move intelligently both inside and outside the ring. At 167.5 pounds, Crawford blends speed, strength, experience, and sharp ring IQ, giving him all the tools he needs to dominate. If this is truly his moment, Crawford has the potential to rewrite the record books.
As Canelo Alvarez has been a great fighter his whole career, people like Erislandy Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome, and more angrier, and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there, take that blueprint, and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me, just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I knew from that point, if he just slow him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot then, and he got Canelo's respect with that too. So Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. Bud got hit with some shots.
He did. He did.
He got hit with some single shots going out.
you know, he's going out and you know Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford, as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a 2-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit longer.
He smiled about it.
He smiled about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that smile can be a lie, and sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
Critics argue that a fight like this could potentially tarnish Crawford's legacy. They suggest that instead of building on his historic wins, like dismantling Errol Spence and outclassing Canelo, he might appear to be chasing financial gain over genuine competitive glory. This view comes from Mayweather's recent career focus on high-paying exhibition bouts rather than legacy-defining matchups. Some analysts warn that Crawford has worked too hard to risk being seen as prioritizing money over his place in history. Critics also note the timing of certain Mayweather victories. Canelo was just 22 and still developing when he faced Mayweather, and Pacquiao had suffered a right shoulder injury weeks before their 2015 bout, which affected his performance. Furthermore, Mayweather's hesitation to grant rematches, particularly with Pacquiao, left lingering what?
Floyd Mayweather is still greater than Terence Crawford. We need to really talk about this now. A lot of you guys are putting Crawford a bit too high. If you want to say Crawford could beat Floyd, I'm more open to that conversation, but when you're lining up the careers, I'm going to say Floyd every time. While they're both 5 division, Bud has become 3-time undisputed, but he's only fought 10 world champions to Floyd's 25 world champions. You can't take away the 5 division, 3-time undisputed. In terms of accolades, yeah, he probably gets the nod over Floyd. I say their accolades are about relative, considering Floyd Mayweather won Fighter of the Decade as well. But when you get to the resumes, Pacquiao, Oscar, Canelo, Cotto, Mosley, Castillo, Marquez, Zab, Gotti, Hatton, and Corley. There's probably way more people that this guy just didn't name. And then when you get to Bud's resume, not saying it's just bad, but the only names that's really worth mentioning is going to be Spence and Canelo. It's not a knock on Bud. Bud was not able to make those fights early on in his career. But I got to tell you guys what it is. Bud's resume just doesn't line up with Floyd's. Take their top 20 wins. Bud don't even got 20 wins to really sit here and name. Floyd got a good 20-something plus. Bud probably got about 10 wins that we could really sit here and name. Floyd's still greater than Bud in my opinion.
Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. have a complicated relationship, rooted in mutual respect but shadowed by rivalry. Both admire the other's skills, yet their competitive egos often collide. Roy frequently claims he was the more naturally gifted fighter, dominating multiple weight classes at his peak, while Floyd points to his undefeated record and business acumen as proof of being the best. Tensions flared when Roy questioned Floyd's the best ever label, arguing it overlooked past legends. Floyd, in response, criticized Roy's late career losses as diminishing his own legacy.
What's happening, fight fans around the world? I know how y'all are. I know y'all enjoy this thing of boxing. I know we play games and people have their issues and people have opinions. It's cool too. I got opinions and I'm allowed to say my opinions or speak my opinions. And if somebody was trying to send me a subliminal message, it worked. Because if you want to prove that you're better than me, I'm always ready. Wide open, ready to go. It's called.
Jones contends that Floyd's best ever status holds mainly in terms of financial success, rather than being the greatest fighter across all styles. He stresses that he doesn't intend to be disrespectful, but when he speaks, he fully stands behind his words.
Is there something that you want to elaborate on, or is there something that maybe you don't like about Floyd?
One thing I don't like is that you don't respect elders. You talk about Muhammad Ali got beat by an 8-0 fighter. That 8-0 fighter was an Olympian who was a monster, who, if you had a monster like that in your weight class, you wouldn't fight him at that time. You understand where I'm coming from? So, that being said, you're disrespecting the greatest fighter of all time. And if you disrespect him, you disrespect anybody. So you have no respect. But when you see me, you're going to have some respect. Because if you want to get it, we can get it. I'm willing to go earn my respect.
But I didn't hear you say anything disrespectful about Floyd.
I never do. I'm not the disrespectful type of guy. That's not who I am. I'm the type of guy. The reason I'm not disrespectful is because when I say something, I'm ready to die for it. So if I say this, I'm willing to die for this. You understand me?
You stand on it.
I stand on it. You understand me? I'm not, like I said, I don't think LeBron is not a great player. I'm not one of the greatest players of all time. But if you ask me, in your opinion, my opinion, which I'm entitled to, you think LeBron and Mike. I'm going to say Mike because I saw what Mike went through to get where he got. So I got my own reason why I'm going to probably like Mike. I'm not saying just you're trash. No, you're not. I'm not saying you're not a great player.
Right.
I'm not saying you're not one of the top 5. Because you could be that. You feel me? And in most people's opinion, you probably are. Some people's opinion, you probably top 1. That's not, I can't say, oh, I'm right and everybody's wrong. No, that's just my opinion.
Right.
I'm entitled to my opinion. But I will fight about my opinion. So if you got a problem with my opinion, whoever, call my house. It ain't changed.
Jones Jr. recently stated that Mayweather doesn't make his personal list of the top 5 greatest boxers of all time. He suggested that Floyd might belong in the top 10, but in his view, Mayweather's record doesn't quite measure up to what defines true greatness, since many of his most notable victories came against opponents who were past their prime. Jones also emphasized the importance of timing.
Is Floyd Mayweather top 5?
No, not in my book. No,
not even top 10.
Maybe top 10 in my book, yeah, but not top 5.
10.
He's maybe top 10, but not top 5. Floyd can fight, don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem is. Well, I understand, I know you're a Floyd fan, but here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he going to prison when he get through. And then to take it even further,
He fought Cotto.
Cotto was not on his level. Wait. See, stop. Let me finish first. Cotto.
You asked me a question.
Cotto already was done. And Cotto an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. Cotto's not an all-time great in boxing.
I agree with you.
He's an all-time Puerto Rican great.
I
All
agree.
right, so that's not a great fight. That's not on your level. Pacquiao. You waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. You waited till Marquez knocked him out, now you fought him. If I wait till somebody beat James Toney before I fight him, do I get credit for being the greatest fighter of all time because I beat James Toney?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So my point is, you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight besides them best 2 names you can pull up besides Canelo?
What I'm saying is that who do you think around that time would have even beaten Floyd that he didn't fight?
So my point is, I'm not gonna say who
because
would
I can't name a person.
I'm not gonna say who would have beat Floyd. Like I said, I'm just saying Floyd never fought nobody that was of his equal. He didn't fight a James Toney. He didn't go looking for a James Toney.
Jones also cautioned that Mayweather stepping into the UFC octagon, or any MMA setting, wouldn't be a fair fight. While he respects Floyd's boxing achievements, Jones emphasized that MMA is a completely different world, with kicks, knees, takedowns, and submissions, areas where Floyd has no live experience. Jones stated, Floyd Mayweather weighs around 150 pounds. I'm about 220. I'd hurt Mayweather, highlighting how differences in size, skill set, and rules would make it a dangerous situation for the boxing legend.
I would like it if we kept it to MMA fighters trying out boxing. I think it's a lot safer for an MMA fighter to try out boxing. If you get a boxer inside the octagon, man, there's so many elements that they're unfamiliar with. The head kicking and the body kicking and the choking and the arm bending and the ankle twisting and all that. It's a lot, and it could be really dangerous for Floyd to join an MMA match. So I would strongly suggest he reconsider.
Would you want to fight him?
Floyd Mayweather? Right. Floyd Mayweather weighs like 150. I'm like 220. I'll hurt Floyd Mayweather.
Jim Lampley recently made a striking comparison, noting that Terence Crawford reminds him of Sugar Ray Robinson, one of boxing's all-time legends. Lampley highlighted Crawford's exceptional ability to stay balanced, control his positioning, and deliver counterpunches with a level of power and precision rarely seen since Robinson's era.
Floyd had a lot of craft that mimicked some of the things that Sugar Ray did. So does Terence. And Terence is psychologically a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the same kind of capacity to be charming and then in the next 30 seconds to turn on his fire. And that, I think, is part of what he's going to take into the ring against Canelo.
David Benavidez believes Crawford deserves a spot on boxing's Mount Rushmore. Now an undisputed champion in 3 weight classes, Benavidez points to Crawford's undefeated record, his ability to excel across multiple divisions, and his win over Canelo as evidence of his greatness. In his view, these accomplishments place Crawford beyond debate, firmly among the sport's all-time legends.
First of all, I just want to give Terence Crawford a great congratulations. You know, he's reached a part in history that only
so many fighters get to even accomplish in boxing. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. There's nothing, you can't take that away from him. Terence Crawford should be on the Mount Rushmore in boxing, because not only did he go up 3 weight classes, he beat one of the best fighters of this generation. I don't remember any time in history where anybody has come up from 147 pounds and won the super middleweight championship. Not only just won, but the undisputed. He's won every single title. So, you know, man, that man, not only is he a great fighter, but you could tell in that fight by seeing this combination right now how much of a dog he is. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of fighters could take a lot of notes from Terence Crawford, not only physically, but take notes in the heart aspect. And I give it all up to Terence Crawford. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. And, you know, we salute Terence Crawford.
Shane Sugar Mosley has argued that Crawford might surpass Mayweather as the more complete fighter today. He points to Crawford's physical attributes, size, reach, and durability, as clear advantages in a potential matchup. Mosley also highlights Crawford's ability to switch stances, adapt on the fly, and blend power with technical skill. While he acknowledges Mayweather's elite defense and ring intelligence, Mosley believes Crawford's aggression.
You fought both Canelo and Mayweather. You fought them both. Who did you think was better, Canelo or Mayweather? I know that's Canelo was saying it was Crawford better than Mayweather.
I was very impressed with Canelo at 21, but Mayweather was still technically more sound. I think Crawford is better. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. But Mayweather is definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Virgil Ortiz recognizes Crawford as one of boxing's elite. He believes very few fighters at Crawford's weight class could beat him, perhaps only Ortiz himself. Ortiz admires Crawford's combination of skills, smart ringcraft, precise punching, and physical strength that remains effective even as he moves up in weight. While acknowledging the challenge Crawford poses, Ortiz is confident in his own abilities, presenting himself as a serious threat. Since defeating Canelo to claim undisputed super middleweight status, Terence "Bud" Crawford has been widely regarded as one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. Many opponents hesitate to face him, wary of risking their legacy or suffering a tough loss. Crawford has publicly called out fighters like Boots Ennis and suggested that Canelo avoided matches with.
I don't think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just gonna treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing. You know, the jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10.
Right,
yeah. You know,
Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
Yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he gonna be able to even like to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it, but can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
It favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, like, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. You know, and Canelo's not slow either. Like, this shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew, but if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration for him.
Meanwhile, many fighters and analysts admire Floyd Mayweather not only for his speed and defensive skills, but for his mindset. They argue that his true strength lay in his unshakable self-confidence, the belief that he could defeat any opponent. Tony Jeff, for instance, has noted how Mayweather's mental edge often allowed him to dictate the pace and outcome of fights before a single punch was thrown.
Mindset, they're really confident, they really believe in themselves, but you need more than that mindset. You need to have the full package of everything that I'm talking about, what Floyd has got.
Fighters should only want to get better. The more you win, the more you should work harder. If you think about losing, you're going to lose. All I ever thought about was winning. So that's all I know.
Floyd would visualize his success before he even stepped into the ring. There was no alternative to him but winning. And this mindset isn't just for boxing, it's for all walks of life. And I've actually done a full video talking about how I used this mindset of visualization to win my Olympic medal. And it was an absolute game changer. Now, Floyd used to use this mindset to ease the pressure that he put himself under. And he made himself think like, I'm not under any pressure right now, where he was under immense pressure.
Pressure either makes you or break you. Well, you see where I'm at, so it's obvious that I'm the type of athlete or I'm the type of entertainer that can deal with pressure. There's never no pressure.
Now, if you watch his fight in 2013 when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Canelo came in a young, strong, undefeated fighter, but by round 2, Floyd kind of had him figured out. He was reading Canelo's jab. He would slip outside and then come back with a clean counter punch, then move his feet and get out of the way. He basically had the full fight under control, and he was controlling the full rhythm of the fight. He was forcing Canelo to fight at his pace. And this is what he would do in all of his fights. He would get his opponent to do what he wanted them to do without their opponent even realizing it, which is what we call boxing IQ. Now, even though I'm not a fan of Floyd Mayweather personally, because of the time when I did meet him, what he said to me made me just feel like this guy is a piece of shit.
Comparing Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford is an ongoing debate. Both fighters have faced the toughest opponents of their eras and emerged victorious with commanding performances.
Oh my goodness, I said that was gonna happen. If Crawford was to win, we're gonna be seeing a lot of these debates on whether or not Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford is gonna be better. Now this is gonna be a debate for a long time. I'm talking about one of those debates like LeBron versus MJ, Messi versus Ronaldo. It's one of those. And the thing is, I can get behind it. Let me go ahead and say this. When it comes to resume, I do think we give Floyd Mayweather the edge. I mean, he beat a bunch of champions. He reigned for a long time. While Crawford, his resume is heavily criticized, and he's just not getting, his kind of respect for beating Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez. But if we're talking strictly off of skills, this is where things get really tough to talk about. I think a fair assessment of this matchup would be Floyd Mayweather wins from 135 and 140, while Crawford wins from 147 to 154. And I say that because I feel like Floyd's style changed once he got to welterweight. He became a more defensive fighter, and he just wasn't as much focused on offense. And knowing this, I feel like Crawford would have had a much better chance of handling him. And we all know, Crawford was an absolute monster at welterweight. But hey man, like I said, this is going to be a debate for a very long time. And I can't wait to hear all the talk about it. But I'm curious on your thoughts. Who you think wins in the fight? Floyd or Terence Crawford? Let's talk about it, and follow me for more boxing talk.
So, who do you think comes out on top in the legacy debate? Is it Mayweather, with his flawless record and carefully chosen fights, or Crawford, who's defeated top opponents at the height of their powers? Share your thoughts in the comments.